Hello everyone and welcome to the Young and the Restless official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for the week of March 16th, 20 indicate that Sally Spectra will put some pressure on Billy Abbott when it comes to a big decision. Adam Newman and Nick Newman will also land in Las Vegas as they kick off their Matt Clark takedown efforts. For starters, Diane Jenkins Abbott will understandably have a terrible reaction when she finds Jack Abbott and Patty Williams between the sheets. Although Jack was clearly drugged into doing this through Victor Newman's seduction scheme, he won't be able to explain things to Diane and will get slapped over the dirty deed. Billy Abbott and Kyle Abbott will also see Jack in bed with Patty, so they'll be just as shocked over his wild actions. Once Tracy Abbott gets a phone call from Billy, she'll be relieved to know Jack is alright. Tracy will be with Nikki Newman when that call comes in, so she'll spill what she's learned. Meanwhile, Nick will flip out when he discovers Victor went as far as abducting Jack to get back the Newman empire. However, Nick won't have time to dwell on that since he'll be ready to catch a flight to Las Vegas with Adam. After Adam and Nick arrive in Sin City, they'll take the next steps. Adam will get in touch with Riza Thompson and try to lay the groundwork for Nick to go up against Matt. As for Chelsea Lawson, she'll continue to fret over Adam potentially heading back down a disturbing road once he revisits his history as Spider. Back with Victor and Nikki, their marriage will head even further downhill. Nikki will bring Victor up to speed on Jack's rescue and launch another fight that results in her getting thrown out of the house. Things will be changing at the Abbott residence as well, since it looks like Diane will decide to leave the mansion and most likely stay in a GCAC suite instead. After Kane Ashby and Nate Hastings have a testy encounter at Crimson Lights, YNR fans will see Sally put some pressure on Billy. Since Sally will think it's time for Billy to truly repair his bond with Jill Abbott, she'll give him a nudge in that direction. Lauren Fenmore Baldwin will also catch Phyllis Summers by surprise, so does that mean she'll accept Phyllis's offer to come work with her? We should mention that YNR will be preempted on Thursday, March 19th, as well as Friday, March 20th. CBS Sports will be covering March Madness on those days, so keep that in mind as you plan your soap viewing for the week ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers say there'll be plenty of drama playing out before those preemptions, so stay tuned for all the stunning news and major showdowns to come. The coming week in The Young and the Restless unfolds like a storm gathering on the horizon, where long-buried secrets, dangerous schemes, and emotional confrontations collide with explosive force. As the days between March 16th and March 20th begin to unfold, tensions ripple across Genoa City, setting the stage for decisions that could reshape relationships and loyalties forever. At the center of it all stands Sally Spectra, whose patience has begun to wear thin as she watches Billy Abbott wrestle with choices that continue to haunt his life. Sally knows that the path Billy is walking will eventually lead him either toward healing or deeper regret, and she refuses to sit quietly while he hesitates. With determined resolve, she begins applying subtle but unmistakable pressure, urging Billy to face a decision that could finally mend the fractured bond between him and his mother, Jill Abbott. Her words carry both compassion and urgency, the kind that comes from someone who truly wants to see another person find peace. And as Billy listens, the weight of Sally's encouragement begins to settle heavily on his heart. But while Sally pushes Billy toward emotional reconciliation, an entirely different storm erupts elsewhere, one filled with betrayal, confusion, and shock. Diane Jenkins Abbott walks into a moment she never could have prepared herself for, a sight so devastating it sends her emotions spiraling instantly out of control. There, before her eyes, she finds Jack Abbott tangled in the most compromising and humiliating situation imaginable, lying in bed with Patty Williams. The shock crashes over Diane like a tidal wave, her mind unable to process how such a betrayal could have happened. What Diane cannot see in that moment, however, is the truth hidden behind Victor Newman's calculated manipulation. Jack had been drugged and strategically placed into this situation as part of Victor's elaborate seduction scheme, a twisted move designed to dismantle Jack's life piece by piece. Yet Jack cannot find the words or perhaps the clarity to explain what truly happened, and before he can defend himself, Diane's fury erupts. The sting of her slap echoes through the room, a painful punctuation to the devastation she feels in her heart. As if the moment were not already catastrophic enough, the humiliation deepens when Billy Abbott and Kyle Abbott arrive and witness the shocking scene for themselves. Their expressions freeze in stunned disbelief, unable to reconcile the image before them with the man they know Jack to be. For them, it appears as though Jack has spiraled into reckless behavior without warning, and the confusion hangs thick in the air. The fallout begins spreading quickly through the Abbott family, reaching Tracy Abbott through a phone call from Billy that carries both urgency and relief. Tracy, who has been quietly spending time with Nikki Newman when the call comes in, listens carefully as Billy explains what has happened. Though the situation sounds chaotic and deeply troubling, the one piece of news that brings her comfort is the confirmation that Jack is safe. After everything that has unfolded recently, simply knowing her brother is alive and accounted for offers a small but meaningful sense of relief. Still, as she shares the update with Nikki, it becomes painfully clear that the damage surrounding Jack's reputation may already be spiraling beyond control. Meanwhile, another shockwave ripples through the Newman family when Nick Newman learns the horrifying truth about how far Victor Newman was willing to go in order to reclaim his empire. The realization hits Nick like a thunderclap. Victor didn't just manipulate the situation, he went as far as abducting Jack. The sheer extremity of his father's actions ignites Nick's anger instantly, leaving him stunned that Victor would sink to such ruthless depths. Yet despite the outrage burning in his chest, Nick has little time to dwell on the revelation. A new mission demands his attention, one that could finally bring down the dangerous Matt Clark. Determined and focused, Nick prepares to leave Genoa City behind, boarding a flight to Las Vegas alongside Adam Newman. The two brothers may not always stand on the same side, but this time their goals align, and the stakes could not be higher. When Adam and Nick arrive in the glittering chaos of Sin City, the atmosphere shifts into something darker and more strategic. Beneath the bright lights and constant energy of Las Vegas, a dangerous game begins to unfold as the brothers take the first steps toward dismantling Matt Clark's operation. Adam quickly reaches out to Reza Thompson, initiating contact that could help pave the way for Nick to confront Matt directly. Every move feels calculated, every conversation layered with quiet tension as the brothers inch closer to their ultimate target. Yet while Adam focuses on strategy and execution, someone back in Genoa City cannot shake a growing sense of dread. Chelsea Lawson watches the situation unfold with deep concern, her mind drifting back to a version of Adam she once feared, the mysterious and ruthless persona known as Spider. The thought that Adam might slip back into that darker identity weighs heavily on her heart, leaving her anxious about what this mission might awaken inside him. Back in Genoa City, the fractures in Victor and Nikki Newman's marriage continue widening into something that feels dangerously close to collapse. When Nikki learns about Jack's rescue and the disturbing circumstances surrounding it, she wastes no time confronting Victor directly. The confrontation quickly escalates into another fierce argument, one that drips with years of frustration, disappointment, and heartbreak. Nikki cannot accept the lengths Victor has gone to in pursuit of power, and she refuses to remain silent about the damage his choices continue to cause. Victor, stubborn and unyielding as ever, meets her anger with cold defiance, refusing to admit wrongdoing. The tension spirals until the argument reaches its boiling point, and in a moment that feels both shocking and heartbreaking, Nikki finds herself thrown out of the house. The symbolic weight of that moment lingers heavily, suggesting their marriage may be standing on its final fragile thread. Elsewhere in the city, the Abbott household begins undergoing its own emotional transformation. The chaos surrounding Jack's scandal leaves Diane shaken and humiliated, forcing her to reevaluate everything she believed about her place in the family. The pain of the betrayal, real or perceived, becomes too heavy to bear within the walls of the Abbott mansion. Unable to remain in a home now filled with painful memories, Diane decides to leave. Her departure signals a profound shift as she prepares to move into a suite at the Genoa City Athletic Club, seeking distance from the turmoil that has erupted in her life. At the same time, another ripple of tension unfolds when Kane Ashby and Nate Hastings cross paths at Crimson Lights. Their encounter quickly turns icy and confrontational, proving that simmering rivalries in Genoa City are never far from the surface. Amid all the chaos, Sally returns to Billy with renewed determination, convinced that it is finally time for him to repair the fractured relationship with Jill Abbott once and for all. She gently but firmly pushes him to take responsibility for the emotional distance that has defined their bond for too long. Billy knows she is right, yet the idea of facing his past mistakes head-on fills him with uncertainty. As he wrestles with Sally's advice, another surprising development begins to unfold elsewhere when Lauren Fenmore Baldwin unexpectedly catches Phyllis Summers off guard. The moment leaves viewers wondering whether Lauren might actually accept Phyllis's offer to work together after all. If she does, it could spark a brand new alliance that reshapes the power dynamics within Genoa City's social and business circles. And just as the tension begins reaching a fever pitch, an unexpected pause arrives for viewers. The show will be preempted on Thursday, March 19th and Friday, March 20th, as CBS Sports takes over the schedule to cover the excitement of March Madness. Yet before that brief break interrupts the drama, Genoa City will deliver a wave of stunning confrontations, emotional decisions, and shocking revelations. With alliances shifting, marriages fracturing, and dangerous plans unfolding from Las Vegas to the Abbott Mansion, the stage is set for unforgettable showdowns. The coming days promise twists that will echo across every corner of the city, leaving no character untouched by the fallout. And as the tension builds toward what comes next, one thing becomes certain. Genoa City is standing on the edge of a storm that is only just beginning to break. The tension surrounding Jack Abbott refuses to settle, and as the initial shock begins to fade, the emotional wreckage left behind grows even more complicated. Jack himself struggles to piece together the night that destroyed his reputation in a single devastating moment. His memory is foggy, his thoughts clouded by the lingering effects of whatever Victor Newman used to manipulate the situation. All he knows is that the image of Diane Jenkins Abbott's heartbreak will not leave his mind, replaying again and again like a cruel echo he cannot silence. Jack desperately wants to explain that he was set up, that he would never willingly betray the woman he loves in such a humiliating way, but the truth feels almost impossible to prove. In the eyes of Diane, Billy Abbott, and Kyle Abbott, the damage has already been done, and Jack realizes with painful clarity that sometimes perception can be far more powerful than reality. Meanwhile, Diane struggles to steady herself after leaving the Abbott mansion, the emotional weight of the betrayal still burning inside her chest. The decision to move into a suite at the Genoa City Athletic Club is not just about distance, it is about survival. Every hallway in the Abbott home now feels haunted by the image she witnessed, a memory she cannot erase no matter how hard she tries. As she settles into the unfamiliar quiet of her temporary refuge, Diane begins questioning everything she believed about her life with Jack. Was their happiness real, or had she simply been fooling herself all along? Her thoughts twist between anger, sadness, and lingering love, emotions that refuse to separate neatly into answers. And as the days pass, Diane finds herself facing a painful reality. The path back to trust may be far more difficult than either of them ever imagined. Across town, the Abbott family grapples with the fallout in their own ways, each member carrying their own mix of confusion and concern. Tracy Abbott continues to hold on to hope that the truth behind Jack's situation will eventually come to light. Her faith in her brother has never wavered, and deep down she believes there must be more to the story than what everyone witnessed. Yet even Tracy cannot ignore how damaging the scandal has become, especially as whispers begin spreading through Genoa City's tightly connected social circles. For Billy Abbott and Kyle Abbott, the memory of walking into that room still lingers uncomfortably in their minds. They both want to believe Jack is innocent of such reckless betrayal, but the image they saw is difficult to reconcile with the man they respect. And as the family quietly wrestles with their doubts, the shadow of Victor Newman's manipulation continues to loom over everything. While the Abbotts struggle to repair their fractured world, the story unfolding in Las Vegas begins moving towards something far more dangerous. Nick Newman and Adam Newman quickly shift from preparation to action as they settle into their mission to bring down Matt Clark. The glittering lights of Sin City create an almost surreal contrast to the serious nature of their plan. Behind the glamour of casinos and endless nightlife, the brothers work carefully, laying the groundwork for the confrontation that lies ahead. Adam's connection with Reza Thompson proves crucial as he quietly begins building the necessary alliances and gathering information that could expose Matt's operation. Each step forward brings them closer to their target, yet it also pulls Adam deeper into the shadowy mindset he once embraced as Spider. Nick notices the change in his brother, the sharpened focus, the colder instincts, and although it may help them succeed, it also reminds him of the dangerous path Adam once walked. Back in Genoa City, Chelsea Lawson cannot shake the feeling that something is shifting inside Adam again. Even from a distance, she senses the subtle changes in his behavior, the quiet intensity in his voice during their conversations. Chelsea knows Adam better than most, and the thought of him slipping back into the identity of Spider terrifies her more than she wants to admit. That persona represented a time when Adam operated without hesitation, when strategy and survival came before compassion. As she watches events unfold from afar, Chelsea begins worrying that this mission might awaken parts of Adam he fought so hard to leave behind. Her concern grows stronger with each passing day, leaving her wondering whether the man she loves will return the same or whether the darkness of his past will claim him again. At the Newman Ranch, the emotional temperature continues rising as the conflict between Victor Newman and Nikki Newman grows more explosive by the day. Nikki's confrontation with Victor leaves wounds that neither of them seems willing to heal. Being thrown out of the house feels like the ultimate betrayal, a symbol of how deeply fractured their marriage has become. Nikki has spent years standing by Victor through his countless power struggles and ruthless decisions, but this latest revelation pushes her patience beyond its breaking point. For Victor, however, the situation appears far simpler. In his mind, every action he takes is justified by the goal of protecting the Newman legacy. Yet his refusal to acknowledge the emotional cost of his choices leaves Nikki feeling more isolated than ever before. The once unbreakable partnership between them now trembles under the weight of pride, anger, and wounded trust. Elsewhere in Genoa City, smaller confrontations continue adding sparks to an already volatile atmosphere. At Crimson Lights, a tense exchange between Kane Ashby and Nate Hastings proves that unresolved rivalries are never far from the surface in this town. Their encounter is brief, but charged with unmistakable hostility, hinting that deeper conflicts may be brewing beneath their icy conversation. Even in moments that appear calm on the surface, the tension in Genoa City seems to simmer just below the edge of eruption. It is a reminder that in this city, peace rarely lasts long before another storm begins to gather. Amid all of this unfolding chaos, Sally Spectra remains determined to push Billy Abbott toward the emotional breakthrough he desperately needs. She knows Billy's complicated history with Jill Abbott has left scars that neither of them fully addressed. For too long, pride and old resentments have kept them locked in a cycle of distance and misunderstanding. Sally believes that if Billy can finally face those unresolved feelings, he might begin healing parts of himself that have held him back for years. Her encouragement is steady but firm, reminding Billy that rebuilding family bonds requires courage as much as it does forgiveness. As Billy quietly considers her words, he begins to realize that this decision could change far more than just his relationship with Jill. It could reshape the direction of his entire life. And as if Genoa City has not already been shaken enough, another surprising development begins unfolding when Lauren Fenmore Baldwin catches Phyllis Summers completely off guard. Their unexpected encounter carries a tension of its own, fueled by Phyllis's recent offer to work together. For a moment, the possibility of an unlikely partnership hangs in the air, leaving both women wondering whether collaboration could benefit them more than rivalry ever did. Phyllis, never one to hide her ambition, waits anxiously to see how Lauren will respond. If Lauren accepts, the alliance could shift the balance of influence within Genoa City's social and business world in ways no one fully anticipates. As the week races toward its temporary pause, the city finds itself standing at the edge of multiple emotional crossroads. Relationships teeter between reconciliation and collapse, dangerous missions unfold under neon lights hundreds of miles away, and secrets threaten to shatter lives with every passing hour. Yet just as the tension reaches its peak, the drama pauses briefly as March Madness coverage takes over the schedule on March 19th and March 20th. Even so, the brief interruption cannot diminish the storm that has already begun forming.